is up, guys? Today I have a really exciting guest with me, Jim Daly, the CEO and founder of LinksDAO. If you're not already familiar with LinksDAO, they are a golf-focused DAO that has been making headlines across, I can't even keep up with the list. It's Business Insider, Forbes, CNBC, CoinDesk, Golf Magazine, just crushing it. Raised about $11 million, correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, but $11 million via NFT sale. Is that right? $11 million?
That's about right, Ty.
Awesome. So today we're going to dive into, what these guys are up to, how they've been able to find so much success. And then, of course, I'm going to pick his brain a little bit on some growth tips and strategies for DAOs. But first, a quick shout out to our sponsor, Zoop. Zoop is an NFT platform that allows users to connect with celebrities and gain access to experiences and lookalike communities through the collection of NFT collectibles and in-app games. They are working on some really cool ways to redefine influencer and celebrity engagement with NFTs. So check them out at zoopcards.com or click the link in the description. All right, let's dive right into it. Jim, before we get too far into LinksDAO, could you give a quick just overview about who you are, what you've been up to, what your experience is?
Totally, yeah. So in terms of being in the Web3 space, wholeheartedly and full time, I'm relatively new. So before launching LinksDAO, I was in the media and ad tech space for pretty much my entire career. Over the last 10 years, I built a business from the ground up, a big B2B ad tech company called Teads, where I was the global president, North American CEO, and we sold that business a number of years ago. At the end of last year, I decided it was time to move on and do something new and exciting. That business is cruising. It's phenomenal. It's 28 countries, about I think 1,600 employees at this point. And I found myself on a lot of Zoom calls every single day doing one-on-ones. And I noticed that I'd been doing that for a couple of years and it wasn't that interesting anymore. So I wanted to get back to building. So me and my co-founder, Mike Dudas, came up with the concept of LinksDAO kind of at the in December of last year, and it took off very fast, and it's still kind of capturing the imagination of sports fans and kind of Web3 enthusiasts across the globe. It's been really fun.
Awesome. So kind of from a high level overview, what is LinksDAO?
Yeah. So LinksDAO, what we're doing is we're building kind of the new generation global golf society. We're taking a game which I love and everybody involved with the project absolutely loves, which is the game of golf, which tends to be a bit old and stodgy and exclusive and not ultimately very diverse, and trying to modernize the game in kind of in a vision that our community shares, which is more inclusive, more democratic, more egalitarian, and kind of rethinking what club and community can be, right? So that's the idea of the overall project. And there's some fun elements to it. So, as part of the project, we're going out, we're buying one of the world's best golf courses. And then anybody that purchased the NFTs will have the ability to join that golf course. We also are one of the first projects, Ty, that has brought significant value and utility to NFT ownership, meaning we have, I think, about 14 different partnerships now where our members, our NFT holders, get incredible access, discounts, and value from a lot of the biggest companies in golf, right? Good example is, we have a big deal with Callaway where our members get great value on Callaway golf equipment. They get big discounts at Topgolf. They get unique access to limited edition drops across Callaway. We have a deal where all of our members get 25% off of ship sticks. So if they want to ship their clubs from one place to another. We have a great deal with a killer company called 5-Iron Golf, which is like the Top Golf for indoor simulators, where everybody just walks in the door, they flash their NFT, they get 20% off. So, our members, while they bought the NFTs, a lot of them have already kind of gotten thousands of dollars worth of unique value in kind of utilizing that NFT as call it like your platinum or your black card for the world of golf, right? So I think we've been one of the trailblazers in that space, and I think that's a space that's certainly going to grow.
Awesome. How did you, partnerships are not, as easy as they sound. How did you lock down such top-notch golf partnerships?
We got a great team, and team meaning folks that are full-time on the project. And then also a lot of people in what we call our partnerships pod within the community, right? Within the DAO that are going out and striking a lot of different partnerships themselves, right? So that's one of the cool things about projects like this is you get so much community contribution, right? You have people in the community that are experts and career-long experts in certain spaces. And if the project is going in a direction where they can help out based on their expertise, they do, and they create like tons of value, which is super cool. And then me and a handful of other folks in the project also have a lot of experience doing kind of structuring these types of deals. And I think that the world of golf, what's been cool, Ty, is we thought that it would be hesitant to a project like ours, right? Because it's new and very different from how things have typically been done. But actually, the opposite has been true, and like the world of golf has really leaned in and wanted to get involved. So I think that that's been helpful in kind of moving things along quickly.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was curious how much the overlap was between like the Web3 space and the golf community, because on I guess first impression you think they're it's one side's really young, one side's really old, but is that not the case?
You're not. I mean, I wouldn't say there's an enormous amount of overlap. I'd say less so than if you're talking about a project that's like a Web3 project that's focused on like music or entertainment. I think you're probably going to see more overlap than golf. That being said, like we brought a lot of new people into the Web3 space. So when we did our mint of the NFTs at the beginning of the year, 1/3 of all the people that bought the NFTs, this was their first crypto transaction. So that's a pretty size. We sold what amounts to we minted 9,090 NFTs. We sold all of them. So if you take a look at all the transactions, it's a pretty significant number of transactions that are first timers. So we think that bringing people into this world in like the right way with a strong project that brings a lot of value and kind of teaching the world of Web3 that way is like the best way to onboard new folks, frankly.
Yeah, no, it seems like I was just checking the floor price, the collection on OpenSea, and you guys haven't been really subject, it seems like, to the increase and then drop off in price that a lot of other projects are seeing, which to me indicates that the members do feel like they're getting significant value as being holders. So that's awesome. Are you guys still planning on buying a golf course? I saw it on your website.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. This is again like this is one of the big community North Stars of the project. So we are, absolutely going out buying golf courses.
And I imagine $11 million doesn't get you a golf course. Is the plan that the community is being created, building up from there?
Yeah. So the community's created, kind of the initial sale was done, but we are also raising, we're raising more traditional capital to go out and buy the physical golf course. Because to your point, like, you can go out and buy a golf course for $8 or $9 million. But ultimately what we want to do too, Ty, is we want to not only have one golf course, we want to have 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 golf courses across the world because we have a global community and we want to continue to expand that community and bring like incredible experiences and again, value to, to our membership, to the community. So yeah, we really want to expand significantly in the coming years. So, the current funds we have right now aren't going to necessarily cut it.
Cool. So you alluded to some of the perks that membership has, being discounts to a bunch of cool golf companies. I also saw there was, I think, a store online that was access only for people that hold NFTs. What else is there that kind of members get access to?
Yeah, so that's the pro shop where basically, our members are getting like our swag essentially, almost at cost, right? So, and then anybody can go in there, like the proshop.linksdao.io. Anybody from the general public can go in and buy that merchandise too. But obviously our community members get massive discounts on all those goods. We have done a number of events. So and this is also cool. Usually in Web3, everything is happening on Discord. We also believe like bringing people together in the community is really important. So we've done a bunch of member only kind of meetups. The next one is at NFT NYC. We're doing it at the 5-Iron Golf flagship in Herald Square. And I think we have, in terms of tickets, all of our members get in for free. If you want, general public has to pay, but our members get in for free. I think there's like 450 folks coming at this point, something like that. So that should be pretty cool. There's, like I said, all the various perks, the ability to join the club, and then we are also building out our own kind of community, our community interface. We're like almost like a community social network, which we call Clubhouse.
Okay.
And on Clubhouse, we have things that are rolling out now, like a reciprocal program, right? So like our members, they all, they don't all belong to other clubs, but we have a good amount of them that do belong to other clubs. They basically, our reciprocal program we're putting together so they can kind of meet up and play at individual clubs, and also generate, some credits and things like that when they bring other LinksDAO members in to play their clubs, right? This is something that's kind of forthcoming. We're also releasing something called basically like our meetup series, which we're calling Link Up. Very apropos name.
Yeah, I like it.
Where our members are able to create very easily, create with low touch, create with kind of the help of the overall organization. Smaller, like 12 to 20 person meetups in different areas, like in Atlanta or in Minneapolis or San Diego or whatever. So we're really trying to make community the center of the whole thing, and what kind of gets you into this community and unlocks all of these different benefits is the NFT itself.
Cool, cool. So I'd like to touch a little bit on the concept of just a DAO as a whole, as well as leadership within a DAO, because I think people understand the concept of what a CEO does in the day to day for a traditional company. What is as CEO? What does a CEO do of a DAO?
Well, like, so think about it this way, Ty. There's, like DAO is still a relatively new concept, right? And you really started to see a lot of DAOs come into fashion, I'd say at the end of last year, and really start to get a lot of attention at the beginning and through the first couple quarters of this year. You have DAOs that are like very traditionalist, right? I'd say like some of the earliest DAOs were investment DAOs. So you have a group of guys or girls or folks get together. Maybe there's 100 of them. Just use that as for easy math. Each one of them throws in 10 grand, right? They're accredited investors, and then this DAO, this community, has a pot of money that they can utilize to invest in different businesses. Anybody from the community can put up a vote and say, I want to invest in Coinbound. We think it's a really killer business. We want to give them, $300,000. Here's all the reasons why we think it's a good idea. Here's a presentation supporting our position. It goes out to the whole community. The community looks at everything. They ask questions. They have a bunch of discourse, and then they make a vote, right? If half of the community or over half of the community wants to invest in Coinbound, they do it. If half doesn't, they don't, right? And there is no central leadership or decision-making structure. It is a completely flat organization. Okay, so that's like a traditional DAO, like a traditionalist DAO. Our DAO works as like the highest powered advisory board you can have for a business. All right, so we kind of have we have our what we call LinksDAO Inc., which is like a C corp, and LinksDAO Inc. essentially exists to deliver on what the DAO is trying to accomplish. And there's a number of reasons for this. There's one that if you're going out and you need credit and you want to buy a golf course, in order to do that, you do need a legal entity to raise debt, to take out a mortgage or whatever on a physical property. And then there's a slew of other reasons in terms of compliance, because we want to make sure that everything that LinksDAO is doing is completely compliant within whatever regulatory systems we have in place right now. It's super important to us. And so a CEO of a LinksDAO is, I'm leading the corporate entity, right? But I'm also part of the community. I'm also an NFT owner. And everything that we're doing in LinksDAO Inc. is in service of the community, to bring value to the community and to ultimately deliver what the community wants, right? Right now, that is a golf course. It's a top-notch experience. So we're laser focused on doing that and making sure that along the way, the community has all of the input to figure out, where the place should be, how it should look, how it should feel, the type of vibe it should have, what are the rules, like all these different things. All of this is coming from the community, right? So we think that this is probably the most impactful and successful way to have that type of structure as it stands today.
Awesome, very cool. Thanks for that. Before we start wrapping up everything, obviously this show we focus mostly on the marketing side of things, and we really haven't done a whole lot on DAO marketing and growth as well. I'm curious to hear about kind of the early stages of LinksDAO, what growth looked like, where you guys kind of focus your time and resources.
So I came from the B2B side, right? And, I, I ran a business that was focused on helping big brands, market to consumers, right? That was my whole business. And it was interesting because, the time I left, the business is doing about 700 million in revenue. It was nearly impossible for this big global, unicorn business to get any press, period, on anything. Nobody cared. It was a B2B ad tech company. In the space that we're in now, which is really a B2C company / organization, it's a totally different beast. So we have not spent a dime on marketing. And I've never seen more PR interest in anything I've been involved with than we've had in LinksDAO. And I think that what's really interesting, again, from my perspective, being in kind of media advertising and ad tech, is I firmly believe it's due to the fact that it's community first. So everything is built with the community at the heart of the decision-making process. Typically, businesses or brands are not built like that, right? The businesses and brands are built like, basically, what's the product going to be? How are we going to get it into the hands of consumers? How are we going to get them to rebuy the product, right? And that takes an awful lot of time. That takes an awful lot of effort. You have to hire specific folks in order all these different areas. Because we basically have, community of thousands and thousands and thousands of people that are like-minded and that are fixated on a common goal, they're all aligned in the direction they're going. It's totally different, and marketing is a totally different beast. Meaning that, the group that we do have is such an interesting story in itself that we haven't had to go out and market at all at this point. Now, I would imagine that if you're a project that's bringing out specific products and things of this nature, marketing is absolutely critical because you do need to get new customers in the door for whatever kind of product you're selling. But for us, the really important thing is servicing the community we already have and having that flourish and grow. And for that, really, the kind of all the organic marketing and organic PR that this project has driven through absolutely, no thanks to myself or any of my other co-founders or core team members, has been kind of more than enough to keep this thing, moving at breakneck speed.
Got it. Cool. Because you have some heavy hitters on your team, and you're a heavy hitter in your own right. Do you feel like that was, instrumental in the fact that you were able to secure coverage so organically?
I think it was very helpful, especially at the beginning, to get the word out about the project. Like my co-founder, Mike Dudas, he's very well known in the Web3 space. He's been in the Web3 space full time for like 6 years, which people wouldn't know that it's existed for 6 years.
Yeah,
so
that's about 40 years in human years.
I know, right? So, and there were a lot of people early on in the project that are still involved in the project that are like, they're big in the space. And I think, like I said, the LinksDAO project has caught the imagination of so many different people in the world of sports, the world of golf, and also the world of Web3, that when the concept was put out there that this is what we're going to try to do, like then if you come up with something that make people excited, they want to be involved with, then the rest of it kind of takes care of itself. And that's, I think, what happened in this project, certainly the early days.
How big was like word of mouth referral? Because how many members do you have in the DAO now?
So we have about 5,300 total.
Okay. So I guess that means there's people holding multiple NFTs because you sold 9,000 and change, I believe.
We sold them all, yeah. So there's on average, yeah, you're saying it's like a little less than 2 NFTs per wallet, yeah.
Cool. So I mean, how many people did you kind of start with? Like, how many people came from? Can you walk us through like how many people were just kind of part of like your core circle in the beginning that were interested in the concept versus like read about you in CoinDesk and wanted to join?
Yeah, I mean, all the CoinDesk stuff and all that happened after we sold out, right? So there was zero PR coverage on what we were doing until it sold out and it was a successful mint, right? I think then people got interested in it. So all of it was organic, honestly, all of it.
Like just people telling their buddies?
Just people telling their buddies that this is what's happening. And I think also we have some great folks from the early team, like from the early days. Because what was cool about this too is like we have full-time people now, and every single one of them at the beginning was like, just like, hey, can I give you a hand on building your Discord? We're like, sure, and it just moved so quickly too, right? There was a lot of excitement on Twitter. Hey, okay, we're going to build a Discord. 3 days after we came up with the concept and tweeted it out, really talented person who now names Cooper Sherwin, who now runs, who was supposed to be on this podcast, but he's in France, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Cooper spun up the Discord. He's an absolute expert there. And then within a week and a half, there's over 10,000 people in the Discord being like, when is this going to drop? What is the deal? Like, so, there was just so much excitement around it, from the early days. And again, like, I've talked to so many folks that it was their first NFT purchase. Like, they heard about it from their golf buddies, and their golf buddies were like, listen, you need to try to get in on this thing. And they're like, what the hell is an NFT? And they kind of learned through the whole process. So I think it was just a groundswell of interest from, the world of golf, frankly, and the world of, of NFTs, that people just got pumped up for it. And yeah, it just had a mind of its own, really.
That's awesome. For someone just getting started, like with their own DAO, what do you think are the most impactful things they can do to grow?
I would say there's a lot of DAO projects that have come out with like wildly ambitious things, which I think are really cool, like super cool. There's a DAO that wants to buy a ski mountain and make it into like a private ski mountain, right?
Yeah,
like,
it's a cool concept.
It's a cool concept. I would say though, like, as you're building these things out, like, think about what happens after. Basically after you make the sale, after like the crazy coverage from the concept, and how it kind of like went nuts and people were crazy for it. After that, like, how are you actually going to do the thing, right? That's critically important, because this is something that we gave a lot of thought to actually before we dropped the NFT, where it's like, okay, we're going to go out, we're going to buy a golf course. How are we going to do that? Because from the outside, you might think, okay, well, you have $10 million. You just go out a week later and find a golf course that's less than $10 million, and you buy it and you open it up. Like, that's not the way it works, right? Like, there's only so many golf courses that are available on any given day, week, month, especially with the tailwinds that the world of golf has had. There's only so many that are structured and priced in a way that would be potentially interesting. Like, if you're buying a house, you're not just going to go out and buy the first, however much the house is that you're going to find. You're going to go in there, you're going to do due diligence, make sure it's in the neighborhood that you want, make sure there's no leaks in the roof, make sure that all the plumbing works, make sure there's no termites. You have to do the exact same thing on things like a golf course. So you have to go out, you have to find all the right partners that can help you and bring expertise in these areas. So these are really things that we thought about in great depth before we did the mint. So up to this point, we are now actively going out with a very confident team that we're going to find an incredible place that's going to be open within the shortest amount of time possible. That's going to be a killer experience, because we have the right team in place. There are experts that do this on a daily basis in the world of golf and real estate. So I would say that's one thing with when you're starting a DAO. One thing is a concept, and another thing is a concept where you can deliver at the level that you have ambitions to deliver, and you can deliver at the level that your community wants. And like, up to this point, we'll have the golf course, but we've delivered so much more to the community than we ever said we would from the first day. So make sure that you're doing that consistently and always. I think is really important if you're thinking about kind of bringing a DAO together.
Okay, awesome. Before I let you go, where can we find you?
So you can find me on Twitter at Jim Daily, JIMDAILY. I was like really early in Twitter and then didn't use it for like 7 years. So I somehow got my actual name. So at Jim Daily. And then check us out at LinksDAO on Twitter too. Join the Discord, the LinksDAO Discord. We have a members only section that is token gated, but we also have a general section which I think has like 11 or 12,000 really fired up golfers in it. So the chatter is really fun and hilarious and informative and educational. And we have like basically anything you could possibly want to talk about in golf, we have a channel for it. So definitely join the Discord and then say hi if you see me on the street in New York.
Awesome, cool. You might see me in Discord later today.
Great, I love it.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for your time. Thanks for kind of enlightening us to everything regarding the success that LinksDAO has had and what you guys are working on. It's been a pleasure.
All right, Ty. Thanks so much, man.
All right. See ya.
Take care.